Bonjour, je m'appelle Charlotte. Comment allez-vous? Vous allez bien? Oui? Moi ça va, très bien, merci. Hello everyone, my name's Charlotte Moore. I'm from Moore Language Solutions. In fact, you can see my business name just here, Moore Language Solutions. If you're local to Chepstow and the surrounding area, you might even see a poster that looks a little bit like this with my contact details on the bottom. So you can go to morelanguagesolutions.com, find me on Facebook, More Language Solutions, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Google+, I'm on all of them. So feel free to get in touch if you'd like to know more about some French, Italian or English language tuition or transcription, translation or proofreading services. I can help. So this is the video for la deuxième semaine de mon cours de français pour les débutants. Second week class video for my French for Beginners course. And let's have a look. Let me remind you what the handout looked like for those who attended the course. So, cette semaine, c'est un document de 4 pages. Okay, a 4-page document. 1, 2, 3 et 4. Oui. So we looked at lots of different things, some phonics. We looked at how to say il s'appelle, elle s'appelle, blah blah blah, he or she is called. We went over some mnemonic techniques, and last but very much not least, we looked at some common and useful French verbs. So this video will focus on les verbes en français, okay, so verbs in French. So we started the lesson actually with a little plenary exercise. So you were in 2s and 3s, and I asked you to try and figure out what these verbs mean. So here's some French verbs. Try and get it nice and close so you can see. Okay, we've got loads, right? You'll notice that there's 3 types of verbs on this sheet. We've got verbs that end with er verbs. Then we've got verbs that end with re verbs, and then we have the third type, which are verbs that end in ir. Now these are the 3 general types of verbs. That differs a bit from English, where it's actually very difficult to categorize or put into categories English verbs. Think of the different endings that they have. For example, to like, to want, to feel, to jump, to skip, to hop, to negotiate, to undertake, to heat. They've all got very different endings, and the spelling, we know that spelling can be difficult even for natives in English. So having this lovely 3 different types, which pretty much stick to certain patterns when you conjugate them. That's when you say I want, he wants, she wants, and the verb, like the verb to want, changes slightly, the spelling and maybe the pronunciation, depending on the person you're talking about. So we'll get more into that, but you'll get used to that verb conjugate. So an example, let me see, an example of conjugating a verb, French verb. So look at this here, regardez ça. Here we have the verb parler, parler, so that means to speak. If I want to use that in a sentence or say in a question, I need to conjugate the verb. So if I want to say, do you speak? I need to put the verb into the vous form, okay, the polite form. Do you speak English? Parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous? So let me show you how that changes. So I'm actually saying this. Parlez-vous anglais? Parlez-vous anglais, s'il vous plaît? Parlez-vous. There's a little hyphen there. There's also an EZ at the end of parler. Parlez-vous. That means, do you speak, or do you speak? Parlez-vous anglais? Do you speak English? So not only have I put the verb parler, which is changed from er like that, parler like that means to speak. It's called an infinitive verb. If I put it in the vous form, it's got a Z at the end. It just happens to sound exactly the same whether it's got ER at the end and whether it's got EZ. So you'll remember that hopefully from week 1. Certain little mixtures of letters are often pronounced in the same way. ER is pronounced E. EZ is pronounced E. Okay? Don't worry about it, you'll get used to it. So parlez-vous with the little hyphen makes that in the vous form conjugation of the verb parler, and it also, with a little hyphen, verb first, then the vous, which is the subject of the sentence, that makes it a question. So we're going to come on to that. So that's conjugation. So where do we get to? So we've got ER verbs, RE verbs, and IR verbs. Now, don't worry about what all of these mean. I gave you this sheet, so you're in 2s and 3s, and then I had little cut-out pieces of paper with the English translation, and I wanted you to try and guess the meanings of the French by matching the English. Okay, so you just had to try and read, figure it out, make links, guess, you know, ask each other for help, just kind of get to know you kind of exercise. So, ici, j'ai tous les verbes en anglais, les traductions, so I have the translations here. So each of you now have copies of the verbs in French and the verbs in English to practice. Okay, you can do a little matching game, making pairs game. So don't feel you have to know all of these verbs. It's not essential right now, not in week 2. However, here's a few that we're going to concentrate on just for now. Okay, so regardez le tableau blanc. Okay, and there's a whiteboard, tableau blanc. Écoutez, okay, écoutez. Listen to how I say these. Regardez, okay, so look. Lisez. Lisez, that means read. And I'm telling you that in the vous form. Okay, so the verb lire, which means to read. But I'm putting it in the vous form, which is lisez. Yeah, show you how that's written. Lisez. Lisez le texte, s'il vous plaît. Read the text, please, okay? So, écoutez, regardez et lisez, okay? Ok, on y va. Let's go. Aimer. 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 Aimer, that means to love or to like. It's a really nice one. So, with most of these verbs, these infinitive verbs, the whole verbs, if we were to change them into the vous form, all we have to do is take off the ER, like that, and what do? Add EZ. Suddenly, that verb is in the vous form. So, aimez-vous, blah, 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 with a question mark, that means, do you like? Aimez-vous la musique? Aimez-vous le bière? Excusez-moi, la bière, parce que c'est féminin. Aimez-vous Marlon Brando? Etc. Aimez-vous? So that's a question there. You just have to put a noun or something after it to be able to ask, do you like? So when you take a verb, you put it in the vous form. Generally you add an EZ at the end instead of the ER or the RE or the IR. When you do that, you can use it to ask a lot of different questions, not every type. So they generally translate as you'll see on page 4. When you use that verb in the vous form and then follow it by the word vous, they translate as do you plus a verb in English. So do you like, do you want, do you understand, that kind of thing. But they can also translate as are you plus verb plus ing. So for example, regardez-vous la télévision? Are you watching the television? Allez-vous au cinéma? Allez-vous au cinéma? Are you going to the cinema? So, allez-vous, in English we translate that as are you going? So, it can be do you plus a verb or are you plus a verb plus ing. We'll get used to these. So, aimer, take off the er. Aller, that means to go. Arrêter, that means to stop. Parler means to speak. Parlez-vous anglais? Regarder, that means to watch, or it could mean to look at. Like, je regarde les oiseaux. I'm looking at the birds. Oui. Payer, to pay. Chercher. 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 I'm looking for would be je cherche. Okay, we'll come on to the I way of conjugating verbs. Cherchez-vous quelque chose? Cherchez-vous. Are you looking? Are you looking for? Cherchez-vous quelque chose? Are you looking for something? So, chercher, that's two CHs, like sh in Charlotte or champignon. So it's always, C and an H is always a sh sound. To look for, to search, if you like. Okay, so these ER verbs here, we suddenly move on to RE verbs. So, attendez. Attendez, s'il vous plaît. Wait, please. Attendez. Now, when I say attendez, I'm using the vous form, so I'm either telling one of you politely or I'm telling all of you, wait. Wait, please. So, this is an RE verb. So if I were to say the whole verb as it is in the infinitive form, it would be attendre. Okay, there's loads of RE sounds in French, especially at the end of verbs. So whenever you see an R and an E, it's a R. Attendre, comprendre, être, être, être. Okay, right, so sometimes actually it will sound like that, tr, tr, attendre. So it's after a T there, that's why it sort of sounds slightly more kind of throaty. So, attendre, in the vous form, we just add EZ instead of the ending RE. So, attendez, attendez s'il vous plaît. What if we wanted to make a question? Are you waiting for something? Okay, we put it in the vous form, which is this, isn't it? Attendez. And then what do? We add a hyphen and the vous. Attendez-vous. And I want to make it a full sentence. So, are you waiting for something? Attendez-vous quelque chose? Something. Add a little point d'interrogation, little question mark at the end, and then we use our intonation to show that it's a question. Attendez-vous quelque chose? Are you waiting for something? So we don't even have to worry too much about using our intonation in this, because the fact that we're saying attendez-vous shows whoever we're talking to that this is a question. Normally, if we were just making a statement using this verb in the vous form, if we were saying you are waiting for the bus, or you are waiting for someone, we would say vous attendez quelqu'un. Vous attendez le bus. You are waiting for the bus. So what we're doing is we're switching the verb and the vous to make it not a statement anymore, but a question. Okay? Attendez-vous quelque chose? Are you waiting for something? Right. So this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ces 6 verbes sont un peu différents. Un peu. So these 6 verbs here are a little bit different. So instead of just crossing off the ending, the final 2 letters and adding EZ, as you do with all of the other ones, these follow a slightly different, well, they don't follow a pattern actually. Venir, which means to come, this one does just have EZ at the end. Venez-vous à la fête demain soir? Venez-vous à la fête demain soir? Are you coming to the party tomorrow? Venez-vous? Are you coming à la fête demain soir? To the party tomorrow. So that one, same as these. Cross off the ending, add EZ. These ones are a little different. So on page 4, page 4, page 4 of your handout, all of the ones that are a little bit different in the vous form are highlighted in yellow. En jaune, yellow. We're going to be looking at some colours next week, so there's one for you, jaune. It's also written ici, sur page 1, just there on page 1. So, what happens to these ones? So, I haven't got all of the ones written on this board, just because it would take forever to go through them, but I've chosen a few that I think might be quite useful. So, ici par exemple, boire, which means to drink. In the vous form, qu'est-ce que c'est? What is it? Do you remember? You choose a different pen. I'll use the black pen. Le stylo noir. So in the vous form, this is buvez. Buvez. So if we wanted to say, are you drinking? Buvez-vous. 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 Or if you're just using it as a statement, you were drinking the beer. Vous buvez la bière. Vous buvez la bière. Buvez-vous la bière? Do you drink beer? Okay, so it could mean either do you drink beer or are you drinking the beer, depending on the context, okay? So remember, there's a couple of ways that you can translate the French into English in the present tense. Comprendre, to understand. In the vous form, this is comprenez. Comprenez. So instead of having the D, R-E, sorry, just the R-E taken off, you take off the D, R and the E as well. So comprenez. Comprenez. That one's quite useful. Comprenez? Vous comprenez? Comprenez-vous? Oui? There are different ways of asking, do you understand? So we, instead of losing the last two, we lose the last three. Here, instead of taking off these ones, well, we get rid of the O and the I as well, and it becomes a U and a V, so that's quite strange, very irregular. This one here doesn't have an EZ at the end, it just changes completely. Être means to be, as in peut-être, maybe, could be. So, être, instead of just taking off the, well, you do take off the R and the E, but you just, this is what it looks like. So you add ES, êtes, vous êtes. So, vous êtes belle. Ah, vous êtes belle. You are beautiful. Vous êtes beau. You are handsome. So that's a statement. If I'm making that a question, I would simply add a hyphen and put vous after it. Par exemple, êtes-vous français? Êtes-vous anglais? Are you English? Are you French? Etc. So you just put the verb before the vous. Venir, so we've gone through that one. That just follows the typical cross off the ending, add EZ. Avoir, super, super utile, very useful this one. So avoir means to have. This one and this one are very important verbs. We're going to be using them basically every week, so keep these ones in mind. We're just looking at the vous form for now. So instead of just crossing off the two last letters, we cross off the last three, and it goes back to having EZ at the end. Avez-vous un stylo, s'il vous plaît? Avez-vous un stylo, s'il vous plaît? Do you have a pen, please? Avez-vous? Okay, do you have or have you got? Vouloir, vouloir. Okay, so this one here, take off all of those, and you add EZ. Voulez, like in the song, voulez-vous, etc. Or the other song, the voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Remember that one? Yeah, Lady Marmalade, Patty LaBelle, I think it is. So that means do you want? Want you, if you like. So voulez-vous, you just add a hyphen and the vous. This one here, savoir, the last one, this means to know. So do you know where I can find the toilets? Do you know who that car belongs to? Do you know what time the train leaves? So questions like that, you'll use the verb savoir. Now attention, because there are two verbs which translate as to know in French. Okay, there's two. There's savoir and then there's connaître. Connaître. So just be aware there's a slight difference between them. The verb connaître, we generally use it with to mean are you aware of, like have you heard of, are you familiar with, that kind of thing. So we'll look at that one again. But just be wary that savoir is not the only way to translate the verb to know. So there we have some verbs, and we have them in the vous form with ez, and then we have some of the ones that are slightly irregular, where the stem of the verb, the bit before the ending, changes slightly, and so that's important because that happens quite often in French. Donc, let's have a think. We're just over 21 minutes now. So this evening I'm just about to send you a link to this video. We also have various little homeworks, but the main one is, oh sorry about that, excusez-moi, je suis désolée. So the main one is this one here, so number 7. Have a look at these verbs. I'd like you just to make some simple sentences. So all you need to do is put the verb in the vous form before the vous. Okay, the word vous, the little hyphen. And then, if you like, you can add a few simple words if you know them or if you want to look them up. So, for example, payez-vous maintenant? You paying now? Voulez-vous quelque chose? Do you want something? Allez-vous en ville ce soir? We're going into town this evening. Venez-vous avec moi? Are you coming with me? That kind of thing. So have fun with that. There's a couple of other optional bits of homework which I'm going to detail in my email, but do as much as you want to, and you know, I don't want you to feel too overloaded. We've got plenty of time for more homework. But any questions, feel free to get in touch. I'm going to leave it here now, and I'm going to wish you bon soirée, have a nice evening, bon weekend, have a nice weekend, and à bientôt. Merci, au revoir.